We are back indeed. I don't know what happened there, but it just wouldn't let me reconnect. Usually it does. Even when I end the stream, it still lets me reconnect and sort of connect to the original stream, but it just wouldn't let me do it. Bonsoir again, Claude. So I had to just switch that one off and start a fresh one. Hopefully this one will remain in good form. I did start this pipe earlier, my 626, but I've got to start a fresh bowl because it's gone a little bit sour. It was pretty much finished. I was thoroughly enjoying it earlier on. I started this bowl a couple of hours ago and I had to pop out. So I really was enjoying smoking the pipe, but I guess I'll have to start a different pipe now. C'est la vie. Yeah, maybe we'll go. That was all it Golden's last. Maybe we'll go for some. Let's go for some. Maybe we'll go for some vanilla. Vanilla. Oscar, long time indeed. Hope you're well. Hey, Mark. Which one's that, Mark? The 626? I've actually got a commission for one of these, which I've got to do probably in the next week or two. So that's going to happen soon. Yeah, so it's a very popular pipe. It's a nice shape. It's very nice to smoke. It's this sort of wider, broader bit just makes it a very, very nice pipe to hold. And you can also put your thumb around this narrower bit. It just works. It's just a nice pipe. Yeah, so Mark, I would suggest that if you are going to do it, as long as the funds allow, put the order in, because my commissions list, although it's not very long, it is growing. My commissions lists don't usually last too long because I plow my way through them quite quickly. I usually get them done within a week or two. But also at the moment we're going into a sort of a festival period, so I'm going to be in and out of the workshop. So Monday and Tuesday is the Jewish New Year, so I'm going to be out completely. I might get a little bit of time in tomorrow, but Monday and Tuesday I'll be out, and then on Wednesday it's the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, so I'll be out for that, and then the beginning of the following week is the festival of Sukkot, and I'll be out for that for about 8 days. So over the next 2 or 3 weeks there's going to be sort of intermittent work. It's cool, Oscar. Whenever you can is good. It's YouTube. You're not obliged. Do whatever works. Just trying to think which pipe to smoke. I haven't smoked this pipe in ages. It's been sitting in my drawer. I think what I'm going to do, it's a pipe I made myself a long time ago. It's got really, really gorgeous grain. I think what I might do is reshape this shank, and maybe put a nicer stem on it, and I'll smoke it more often. And I'll resand it and restain it, bring out some of that beautiful grain. And you can see my early stamp on there, LCS. That was made in 2020, it looks like. Yeah. So that's a couple of years old. To be honest, I thought it was older than that. Unless it can't be pipe 20, surely. Because right in the beginning, I did put numbers on pipes. No, this must have been, it can't be just 2 years. I'm sure it's older than that. November, no worries, just let me know whenever you're ready. I'm hearing a little noise, I'm trying to pin it down. Don't know what it is. The roof, yeah. I mean, I actually stripped it down, took photos that I needed to take, which I need to now formulate into an email and send back to the insurance company. They're going to mess me around, I know that. But I've got to at least try. So I've got to send that back to them. The pictures don't really shed any more light on it, to be honest. I didn't think it would, but that's what they said I had to do in order to keep their claim alive, so there we go. So this is the Peterson Dracula. And we have some vanilla roll cake in here. And this is one I bought from the Danish pipe shop, and what attracted me was the sound blast. I think it's the hard disk actually that's making that noise. I don't know. It's kind of an identical noise which keeps happening, so it's not scratching or anything like that. It's not mice or anything like that. It's too consistent. It's just a continuous noise every second. Hey Ian, what are you doing in Germany? You playing? Mm-hmm. Nice. Ian's a rock and roller, people. Or as Stephen Wright would say, Steve Wright, I should say, on Radio 2, he's a serious jocker. I haven't got any further than I was with the sandblasting. I need to get the cabinet, that's all I really need. But like I keep saying, until I sort out my workshop, that's unlikely to happen. But I'm kind of hoping that I can get my act together straight after the festival and maybe make a start on building a workshop finally. I've been going over it in my head, the order that I need to do in order to get the structure going, the damp course and electrics and all that kind of stuff. What I'd like to do is just get a little bit of a financial buffer so that I can afford to buy the materials and also afford the time to take out to build it and not make pipes. That's really where I'm at, and that's quite a challenge. It's more of a challenge than you'd think. Expenses at the moment have skyrocketed. Mortgage has gone completely out of control. Just announced another increase, interest increase, and I would say in the last 3 to 6 months, including the latest increase, my mortgage has doubled, and that's a big pressure. But we'll get there. I'm intent on doing it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It just needs to be a secure roof over my head. But the main thing that I want to do is try and make sure that I build it in as insulated as possible. I don't want to have to relive each year the same as I live in here with the freezing cold weather during the winter. So in terms of insulation, I want to make sure that I do that right. And I'm going to be using the two existing walls on either side of this. I've got my garage here, which is what we're sitting in now, and then the neighbour's garage, which is right on my on the party line, on the edge of my property. So I'm going to use the outer wall of his garage as my wall as well, and I'm literally going to suspend the roof between the two, and then just build the two end walls, something along those lines. But I'll still build out the walls with insulation. You buy those thick boards of foam, the foam boards, something like that. Well, if anybody who was lucky enough to fix their mortgage won't be worrying about it now. But when I bought my house, I actually, for some of the time, I did have a fixed mortgage, but I refinanced in order to build, to convert the top floor to put a loft on. And at the time, the only way I could afford to do that was to take an interest-only mortgage. So besides for being tied to the flexible mortgage rate at the moment, because I never fixed it, I also have a mortgage to pay. I have the bill to pay. The mortgage comes to an end in 7 years' time. That means I've got to pay for the property, pay for the loan. I've got to repay the loan in 7 years, which is, at the moment, I don't see how I'm doing that. So the option then will be to refinance or to sell the house and move to a cheaper area maybe. But 7 years, I'm not quite ready. It's something which I could do in the future, but 7 years, I'm still going to have one of my kids in school here, possibly. and it would mean moving out of London, which we're not so keen on either, because you can't really downgrade here in London, unless I went to a smaller property, which I'm in a small property already. My house is a small house, so unless it meant going to an apartment, which is not it's not for me, an apartment. Plus, an apartment costs money with service charges. It's not the answer. Shropshire is nice. I would love to move to the countryside, but I need to be close to a Jewish community, either synagogues, Jewish schools, that kind of thing. How cold does it get in the winter? It gets pretty darn cold. Maybe not as cold as some of you guys have it out in Canada and places like that, but it gets really cold when you're sitting out here. The garage is, although I insulated this a little bit, it's not insulated enough. It's completely outside. You know what it's like with an outhouse. It just gets freezing cold from all sides. The latest one, that one is on my website for 205. But if you wanted to buy that Claude, I'll work something out with you. If you wanted to buy it direct, not through the website, I can reduce that for you a bit. And the cost of renting is greater, although you'd have the capital. If you sell the house, you'll have the money that you had for selling the house. But renting, if I want to rent a property again in a community that I want to be with, that will cost me 3 or 4 times my mortgage. Renting is really expensive. It's not the way to go. The good thing about it is I've been in this house for nearly 30 years. So I've got a lot of equity in the property. The loan is only it's probably maybe 15% or 20% of the value of the property. Something like that, 20% maybe. So if I sold the property, repaid the loan, I'm left with a decent chunk of money, so I can go and buy another property. But I'd have to move away to a cheaper area, and that's the challenge. Hey Chad. Hey Jeremy. Thank you. Move to California and get a lean-to. Why is property so expensive though? I mean, if I wasn't tied to a community, there's plenty of places that you can move to for less money. London is an extremely expensive place to be. Hey, Phil. The best place to live in England? I honestly couldn't say. I don't know. But for me, the countryside is fantastic. There's plenty of great places to live in England. Down south, Devon, Cornwall, beautiful areas, countries, parts of the country, but again, very expensive to buy property there. There's beautiful places in the Midlands, up north, wherever you go. Once you drive out of the town centres, it's all beautiful. It's all green pastures. You go to any of the older villages and stuff like that, where life just slows down completely. I just don't know what I would be like long term. So when I go there, in the vacation time, we like to go to the countryside rather than going to a coast, to a seaside. And so for 2 weeks, it's great. But whether we'd like it still 4 months down the line, if we'd moved to the countryside, whether we'd like it after a month or two or three or a year, I don't know. Maybe we'll find it too slow. Yeah, Devon is lovely. Devon, Cornwall. Phil, if Mark's tears are anything to go by, it sounds like you're doing him a beautiful pipe. I made a start on a commission earlier tonight. It's going to be a Dublin, hopefully a sitting Dublin, at an angle. And it's got this WV stem. Remember that, Jeff? With a ring that's going to have on the shank. It's a commission. And I decided to change the order of things and how I do things. Usually I do the stem when I'm ready to fit the stem to the shank. That's when I kind of I'll sort of fit it. I'll drill it on the lathe, fit it to the pipe, and then when I get to the shaping wheel, I'll shape it and do everything and cut the slot the last. And I've decided to actually change that because I find sometimes that, I suppose, out of the whole pipe, I find the most challenging is the slot. It is just getting it a nice, neat kind of a shape to the slot. Drilling it and all of that, thankfully, is not a problem. I don't have an issue with that. But just ending up with a nice, neat kind of looking slot, I just find that still a challenge. And doing it after you've already made the pipe is a big risk, because if you mess it up and you're not happy with it, then you either have to make a new stem or you sell it cheaper as a second or something like that. I mean, I'm talking only cosmetics. I'm not talking about a flaw in the pipe. It's just cosmetically it doesn't look as nice. So I could sell it as a second. So I decided this time to reverse that and take my time on it. And then if it doesn't work out, I can still do another stem, and I haven't spent too much time on it yet. So I did that today. And actually, really happy with it. Came out really nice and neat. The draw is already there. Obviously, I'll have to still do a little bit of. The draw feels really good, actually. And you can see the drill there. So hopefully, hey Boris, hey Bob. So I'm quite chuffed with that, because I always I don't look forward to doing this stem, let's put it that way. So I decided to tackle that in advance, and then I can just relax into the rest of the pipe. So it's going to be something like that, with a ring and then briar again, as I've been doing for a while now, and then stem. So customer wanted something similar in terms of the pipe shape to the first memorial pipe that I did. So it's going to be the Dublin Shape. It's got potentially some nice grain. So it's got potential. So I think I might move over to the lathe soon, and we can maybe do some work. I do have a pearl lathe. I did try that. Maybe I didn't try enough, but I wasn't happy. Let's put it that way. I do have one, and I've put it back in its box. I suppose I should really try it again. And I've seen Cedarcraft. What's his name? Is it Craig Cedar? When he uses one, and he's done a video of it. But I just find that sometimes it goes a little bit adrift, and it didn't do me a very nice, clean slot. But obviously, it's doable because people use them. So it's about refining it. The bits, actually, I did manage to find. Where are they? You can find them on Amazon. I do have a box of them somewhere. Hang on. You can at least search it. I'll show you what it is. I did have it here somewhere. As soon as you touch something, everything starts falling. There it is. So it comes in a box. These are side cutting bits. They're 1.5 mil. Let me see if I can see what it's called. And the label's off. If you search 1.5 mil side cutting drill bits, you should be able to find that. If not, Phil, if you want, I can send you a couple of these. Would you like me to see if that helps you out? You have those, but called grout bits. Oh, so this wasn't good enough? Hey, Rock and Steady, David, how you doing? Were you not happy with these, Phil? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I found, because the problem is the jig, not so much the drill bit. Yeah, that's kind of the problem that I had too, Phil, which is why I gave up in the end. But the way I did it today, I'm going to try and keep doing that and see if I can just keep refining until I get it down to a fine art. I think ultimately that's all down to practice. I just found that with the slot cutting, when I was doing it with the Dremel or with the Kemper ceramic saw, that kind of thing, I just found it was always a bit hit and miss. I couldn't be sure to get a precise sort of D shape, or whatever shape you want to call it. But the process that I did today, I'm hoping that it's something that I can just repeat, and then refine, and just keep getting it better and better. Because that would really remove quite a lot of my apprehension with the hand cutting stems. I mean, I do them often enough, but still, if I can overcome that and make it a normal part of my modus operandi, then I think I would have less apprehension with it. I need a briar ring as well, so let's do that first. How's the chuck coming along, Phil? Any progress? Oh. Starting to get cold. Definitely starting to get cold at night now. My hands are cold, my feet are cold. Hey Gary, how you doing? It's always a late night at the mill, isn't it? That's handy. That's probably from that same pipe. Yeah, you guys in the States do seem to have some environmental challenges, whether it's floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, that kind of stuff. In the words of Al Murray, the comedian, the pub landlord, God must have been British, because we don't get any of that stuff here. Wildfires, yeah. The last few years you've been having that bad. Yeah, flooding's been bad too. Yeah, I mean, flooding in the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so has been worse than I've seen in my life before that. I don't seem to remember it being, unless it's just more widely reported nowadays, I don't know. But there seem to be some really dramatic scenes around the world, whether it's fires, flooding, a lot of environmental angst. Oh, I've got the this pipe out here. I'm sure you guys have seen this. I was doing a little bit of tidying up on the bottom on this one, but it's okay now. I'm going to resand the base. I've actually ordered the new crown stamp. I've got a crown stamp at the moment, but I'm not happy with it. The imprint that it does is not deep enough, and if you push too hard to get a deeper imprint, you end up getting the round shape of the stamp. So it's a very shallow stamp. It's probably originally designed for leather or something like that. Most of them are. But I've got another one on the way, which I actually like the design of as well, better. So I'm hoping that will be much more successful. So I'm going to resand this and put the new stamp on when it comes. But it's still on my website. It's a lot of money, I know it is. But it's not worth my while selling it if I don't get the right price for it. I put in a huge amount of work into this pipe. And it'll hopefully find the right buyer. If not, it'll stay with me. Maybe I'll put it up for sale in the future again. See what happens. But I think it's a wonderful pipe. Really came out well. A great testament. Very fitting. Hopefully it finds the right home. Well, the adornments are gluing up at the moment, so, and the stem I've done as much as I want to do for now. So what are we, 1 o'clock? It's only been an hour. I don't mind chatting if anybody else wants to chat. And I could start shaping the button, but I much prefer to do that once I see the shape of the pipe. So I know, because although I've got an outline of a shape, you don't know whether you're going to end up with that shape. and so I really don't want to go much further. I don't know whether I'm going to do a saddle, a taper, an LCS wave. At this stage, I don't know. I mean, my intention is to do an LCS wave, but it really depends on how the pipe ends up. Yeah, I know. I knocked off that £100 to try and push it a little bit, but I'm not going to reduce it below that. That's it. You know, if it sells through the website, I get knocked again for another few percent. I don't remember. I think it's about 10% possibly. So it's a lot of money. If somebody contacts me direct with an offer which is reasonable, then I'll consider it. But to do a direct purchase, but it's worth holding on to. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. I'll leave it on for a bit. I'm not going to leave it on indefinitely. If it doesn't sell, I'll take it off. I've got in mind some ideas anyway. I was thinking of doing a 7-day set, a royal 7-day set, and then make it as an investment. Maybe I'll sell it in the future. Maybe I'll sell it now if the right buyer comes along at the right price. I have some other ideas in terms of pipes that I could include in a 7-day set. Some really cracking ideas. So if it doesn't sell, it's not the end of the world. Estival's also sold out now. Well, apparently Pipes and Cigars has it, but we can't view Pipes and Cigars from the UK. I don't think it's the same, no. David, Pipe Monkey Gary, and Mark Welsh Piper are very good friends, and that's how they talk to each other, because they love each other. I recently tried the Reiner's gold Flake, is it called? I've got 2 tins of that. One of them I've jarred up, and I sort of dip into it every so often to see how it's maturing. And so far, I don't like it compared to. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it compared to Orly Golden Slice. So far, all of the tobaccos of that genre, Orly Golden Slice is still the better one for me. No need to apologize, David. You weren't to know. But they're usually ripping each other out a lot more aggressively than they are on here. You should see them when they're together in a video, which they do maybe once or twice a year. And it's their northern humour, let's put it that way. It's called brotherly love, or sibling rivalry, one of the two. The gold block, is that the gold block as in what, the Ogden's gold block? Oh, Wessex. Okay, so Ogden originally were the first to make a gold block. It's that gold tin. Ogden's doesn't exist anymore. I do actually have a tin of that Ogden's gold block upstairs somewhere, a sealed tin. I'm not sure when they stopped producing. Maybe sometime just before the turn of the century, maybe the 80s or the 90s. Wessex. It's actually quite hard to get the Wessex gold block. It's basically a slab. It really is a block. And then you've got the long, the one from Germany, the long, like the sausage. I forget who makes that one now. I think Josh got one of those. It's like a log. Dale Piper's got one of those. He sent me a little slice of it. I ordered a new strap for my watch. This is a Seiko. And it has a metal strap. But I just don't like them getting all scratched up, which they do eventually. So I went online, went on eBay, and I found a genuine, supposedly genuine Seiko strap. So I put that on myself, and it's really good. It looks good. It's got a nice diver's watch look to it. It's not the Tombolaka. It's something else. The NATO bands you put on yours. I don't know. I've looked at them, and I'm just not such a big fan because they're really thin and they just don't seem to look right with when you're wearing a big hefty watch. With a smaller watch, I can understand it, but I'm not quite. I don't know. I'm not sure what the whole style of the NATO bands is. I mean, no disrespect. If you like it, that's great. But it came into fashion a few years ago. I'm not sure what the what the attraction is. Maybe it's that it's easy to put them in and out. Is that the one which just threads and goes behind the watch face and then out again, or does it have the links here? I mean, the links are there, but the one it just threads in and out. Is that what it is? Yeah, Mark, that one. I've just forgotten who makes it. Or maybe it's Peter Heinrichs. Maybe that's the Peter Heinrichs one. Yeah, I think it is. The Peter Heinrichs one is actually quite nice. Curly block. I think that's the one. It's curly block. It is curly block. That's a Dale Piper, John. He sent me a slice of it. Hey, hooligan. I don't have my other phone with me for some reason. I don't know why. I thought I brought it out with me, but so I can't look at the picture now. I don't think I've got it on. I guess I can look on the screen. I can log in. All right. Very nice. That's actually quite thick, your one, Phil. I can see the attraction of that, I guess. It's just the simplicity of it. It's easy on enough. They don't get scratched. They don't get dirty. You can wash them, I suppose, at a pinch if you needed to. All right, David, have a good one. Thanks for joining. Oh, how rude that they don't sell to the UK. Here, here. You can't even get on the. You can't even get on their website, David. Hey, Josh. Apparently, Pipes and Cigars has got OGS, Josh. Now it looks like Estivals don't have the tins in stock either. What's that Virginia block, the long log that you've got, Josh? What's that called? Is that called Curly Block from Peter Heinrich? Or is it Wessex? We were just talking about that. We couldn't remember what it was. Which one? Yup. Peter Heinrich, right, okay. Coolio. Well, I hope you've been enjoying the family time, Josh. Right, let's go back to the lathe. Upside down. Yeah. There we go. Andrew, how you doing? Long time no see. Good for you, Jeff. To me, Jeff. Seriously, man. You've sent me enough OGS over the last year or two to last me. That's exactly right, Andrew. You just never know what's next. That could be the next blend going out. Who knows? That's why I do try to get some every so often. Yeah, Andrew. I mean, it just says on the website that it's in the country, that it could just be caught up with customs. The postal service here is not as reliable as it usually is. I was supposed to have a bunch of boxes picked up today, and they didn't turn up to collect them. So it's just a bit unpredictable at the moment. It should arrive. I mean, Royal Mail is reliable, although actually I think if you sent it, it might come with parcel force. I'm not sure. They're both parcel force, Royal Mail. I mean, it's all part of the same thing. They're pretty reliable. So ultimately, I'm not too worried, but it's always a bit unnerving. But it should be all right in the long run. Yeah, I hope so too. The problem is that I just don't know what they're like in terms of opening packages up. Did you list it as a gift? Yeah. It's just a bit unpredictable, to be honest. It's a big tin, right? Well, we'll just have to hope for the best. Not much more you can do, really. Yep, the pipe is born. I'm not taking it any further. What I tend to do is drill it a little bit short these days, and I just finish it then by hand afterwards. That way it's at the bottom of the hole rather than slightly over drilled. I don't know because whether I leave the plateau or not. The plateau looks quite nice, but the customer does want, if I can, to turn this into a crown size. So I might do a sort of a crown kind of rim. Otherwise I would have done something on the shank, but he wanted this kind of colouring, so I've got to come up with a way. If the briar stays good, which I hope it does, then it's going to stay smooth. So I need to come up with some way of making it a castle, a crown series. Well, I don't have to, but if I can do it, I'd like to. If I'm honest, I think the plateau should stay. Maybe I won't do a crown series on this one. Yeah, the plateau just works on this one. It's got that sort of curved shape. I think it would be a crime to remove the plateau on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 rows of bricks, and the rest is going to stay smooth. I wanted to make the rows nice and symmetrical, and then the middle bits that I do for the bricks, those will be roughed up and made to look rustic. That way I'll keep the grain, plenty of smooth there, keep the plateau, but I can still make it a crown series because it's got a reference to the castle. I think that's going to be nice. Just have to make it deep enough so that when I sand it, I don't lose the lines. Could even go a bit deeper, to be honest. No, I can do that after. Okay. It feels like it's going to be quite lightweight as well, which is nice. So that's what we have so far. And that's pretty done, so that saves me a bit of time. I'm going to continue this tomorrow, and I think that will look nice. As I say, I'll do a couple of rows of bricks there all the way around. That will make it enable me to give it a crown series. Nice sort of length on the stem, so that should give it a decent bend. And all round, hopefully the briar behaves itself all the way to the end. The drilling is bang on, thankfully. And in the bottom of the bowl there as well, right at the bottom where it should be. So I'm grateful for that. And there we go. I'm not sure if I'll have time tomorrow. We'll see how the preparation for the new year. As I say, tomorrow night is the new year, the Jewish New Year. So we'll see what the wife has in store for tomorrow. I've got to go and visit my parents before the festival and various bits and pieces. But we shall see. I'm missing one of my files. Thank you very much, Mark. Okay, so that's going to be it for now. We'll leave it there. Maybe we'll carry on tomorrow a bit. We'll see. I'd like to if I can. The platter looks good. I'm going to give that a clean up soon as well. Well, once I get it back on the pipe. Yeah, that's about it really. So thanks everybody. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Cole. Hi, Cole. Hope you're well. Josh, if you're still there. Oscar Flores. Phil Rivaro, if you're still there. Scott Free, didn't see you. How you doing? Latest batch of Northwoods is really good. I haven't bought Northwoods now for a while. I'll have to try and order some. What's extrang? Thank you, Hooligan. And everybody else. Todd. I think that's everybody. Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you, Patrick. Happy New Year to everybody, to all my Jewish brethren out there. And a great new rest of the year for everybody else. I don't think I'll be in tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow, but if I am, then I look forward to seeing you then. If not, it'll probably be Tuesday night at some point. Thanks, everybody. Catch you on the next one.